Hi, neighbors. I'm Kevin Murphy, and today I'm here with Lori Grace Bailey, who is a storm photographer from Rio Rico, whose photos have been used in multiple publications, including Backpacker Magazine. She's also the director of the annual Monsoon Con convention, which brings weather enthusiasts and monsoon photographers together. So Lori is going to be giving us some tips on how to take monsoon photographs with your cell phones in a safe manner. And I thought it being a monsoon season here and such a great monsoon season this year, perfect time to talk to Lori. So Lori, how are you?
Hi, Kevin. I'm doing really great. Actually, even today, there's a couple of really intense, severe warning storms over near Wilcox, but I think I'll get on the road in a little while and go try and shoot those storms as well.
Okay, we won't take up too much of your time so you can go get out on the road again. Just explain to everyone how you got into the world of storm photography and maybe some of the awards you've won over the years.
Sure. Well, when I was a kid, of course, I think we all come to learn to be in awe at the storms, especially if you're a desert rat like myself. I was born in El Paso and raised in El Paso, and back in the day, my mom would take me to the park just to spend time with me, and during the summer, and we would just watch the storms just come through. And it was then when I fell in love with weather and the monsoon in particular. And so, of course, as I got older, and then once I finally got a DSLR about 5 years ago, I realized that, wow, I have this simple equipment, but with the same equipment, I can capture those incredible images that you see other people producing on TV or on the internet that can just really capture the color, the depth, and the wonder that our skies can produce. World class, skies is what I like to call it.
Gotcha. And can you tell some of the neighbors some of the awards you've won over the years?
I'm not really into like contests and things like that. I did win an award for a photo as a weather photographer of the year award, which was a photo of a thunderstorm in El Paso, Texas, that I captured 2 years ago, and that photo took second place in the World Photographer of the Year, national or World Photographer of the Year. In there was two contests but it won second place in the online user vote. So I was really proud. Yeah, that's the photo right there. I was super proud of that. I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't know why, but I like to look at my radar. Even the cheap free radar software that we have. I looked at radar and I saw a storm brewing. I raced up there to the mountain, up on Scenic Drive in El Paso, and I captured this storm before sunrise. And you can see that it's blue hour, and this bolt just lit up right over the downtown area. And I was super proud of getting there in time and getting the shot and not messing up my focus.
That's a beautiful shot.
Thank you.
Can you tell the neighbors maybe your most memorable storm chasing story?
Sure, I have a lot of them, and almost every incredible sunset storm is extremely memorable. Anybody in Tucson, Green Valley, anywhere in southern Arizona, when you see the storms lit up by the sunlight right at sunset, they're all memorable. But there's been a few close calls, even when I've been out and as far away from the storm as I could be. And there was one in Nogales 2 years ago where I was on a hill about 5 miles from a storm, and I knew the lightning was dropping 5 miles away. But at one point, when I was actually capturing images, a long bolt just came out. They call those the bolts from the blue, and it just came out of nowhere and struck about 100 yards from me, and it was an instant crash and boom. And the dogs and I both ran into the vehicle, put our cameras away, counted our blessings, and we got to safety. And that was a reminder that even when you're far away from a storm, that lightning doesn't just hit directly below. It can reach out and touch someone in a not so very fun way. So I was careful after that, took off, and I knew that I need to be careful and do this safely.
Yeah, on that note, do you have any tips for the neighbors about taking storm photos, maybe with your smartphone or from their backyard?
Sure. So the first tip is even a simple, I just have this in my hand here, but even a simple DSLR. This is my baby, by the way. This is a Sony mirrorless camera. But even the ones that you can see that you can buy at Walmart or Costco, they come in a package. Canon usually sells a kit, and they're probably around $300-$400. That's a good one. But I know that's tip number two. Um, but you can use a DSLR, and that's really great. But I do want to always mention, you want to make sure you're safe too when you're doing this. First and foremost, I like to tell people that you can capture a storm, you can watch a storm from the comfort of your home or from the comfort of your car. That's a very safe place to be in. And even if you're just driving and you pull over in a park and you watch the storm, that's the safest place to be. But number two, you can still capture really great images. You can learn to do that and still not get hurt by choosing to just let the storm go by. But yeah, the second tip, of course, I like to do is use a DSLR if possible. This is the thing that I use to capture the best quality images. And of course, the prices, it can go up into the thousands if you're, if it suits you or if it's your profession. But even the least expensive ones are great for that. The third tip, though, is most of us just have our cell phone with us, right? We just want to be able to, how many of us have tried to take a picture of the moon and then we go, ew, that didn't work. And it's this tiny little dot and there's an eclipse and you try to share it on Facebook and everybody shares your terrible cell phone photo. Well, even the cell phone can take a great photo of the sky, whether it's the moon or the stars or lightning. But the way that you can do that is tip number 3 is download an app that controls the camera. You want to be able to have full control over the camera settings. And especially for lightning, you want to increase your shutter speed. So when you download an app, there are several, I can't even think of any right now, but you can just go into photography apps, and the ones that give you full control over your camera's ISO and aperture and things like that, those are the ones where you can set it on it, which is my 4th tip. Do not try and take a picture of lightning while walking around because you're shaking your camera. Even if you try to stand stable, you're introducing shake, and all of your images are going to be not so pleasant. So you can even get those cheapy little, on Amazon, you can get those things where you can stabilize your phone, get a little tripod with a little stand on it, and stabilize that image. And once you do that with the tripod plus the software, you can sit back and let the camera just take photos of the storm. And even then, it couples with the safety of it. Once your camera's on a tripod doing the work for you, you can get back in your car and be safe and shoot it from a far distance and enjoy it, rather than taking any unnecessary risks.
So Lori is also the director of Monsoon Con. Can you tell our listeners and viewers here a little bit about what Monsoon Con is?
Sure. So Monsoon Con was started in Phoenix by a group of weather enthusiasts and photographers and meteorologists, and they had that in Phoenix for a few years. But the conference ended up the directors of the conference ended up moving on, and in fact they're chasing tornadoes now and studying meteorology in Oklahoma. So they were no longer able to keep it going. And it was my desire to continue that, because these conferences where you can connect with other weather enthusiasts and other photographers, for me, that's really important to be able to share, right, in that passion of photography and that passion of loving the monsoon. And there are conferences for tornado chasers on the plains. Nobody has anything for Tucson or for Phoenix or for the Southwest for monsoon. So I kept that going. We had our first annual Monsoon Con at the Arizona Sonora Desert Museum the year before. And we were scheduled to start again last year, but unfortunately the pandemic shut everything down, and we went ahead and postponed it until next year. So next year, be looking for more info, coming out on Facebook and all the other social media for Monsoon Con in 2022.
Okay, great. And we're going to be sharing some of your tips on storm photography on Neighbor. And also we're going to be doing a photo contest with all of the users. So
Sounds good.
if you'd be kind enough to judge the photos for us, we could really use your input on that, Lori. And can you let everyone know where we can find your photography?
Sure. So if you I made it very simple when it comes to social media, whether it's at YouTube, Twitter, or Instagram. Instagram seems to be my largest following. But if you just type in Lori Grace AZ on any of those social media, you'll be able to find my images and follow me. I've been posting a lot on pretty much every single day because this monsoon has been really, really amazing. And in fact, I'm going to go chase storms right after we finish our talk here. So I will be posting lots of new content. I've captured hundreds of images, and I can't wait to share them with everybody because I'm just so in love with weather and landscapes, and I love doing this.
Okay, I can't wait to see your photography up on Neighbor and some of the tips you have to share with people. So thank you again for taking the time to do the interview today, Lori. And
sure.
Why don't you get out of here and go face the storm?
Sounds good. That's where I'm going. Y'all be safe now. Thank you.
Thank you, Lori.